All right, what is up, traders? It is Sunday. The markets are opening up right now. They're just now starting to come alive here in a second, anyways. We're going to take a look at these Forex pairs. We're going to also take a look at gold and silver. We'll take a look at the S&P 500. We're going to do anything that you guys want to look at as well. So let's go ahead and get started with silver. Actually, let's go ahead and get started with Euro USD. So you can see Euro USD has been trading down in a range. It's not been a range. It's been a pretty nice down move. As you can see with the daily, you have a first swing low here. This is like a two-leg move to the downside. We have absolutely traded up out of that area. There was a trend line coming into play down there, and we have since pushed higher. Now, I'm going to go down into a smaller time frame chart just real quick to show you guys where I got long. I already basically did this last week, but I'm just going to show you where the position is right now. So as you can see, this was the original stop. That position is 15.69 to 1 in profit. What's up, Smile? What's up, Jordan? So that position's doing very well. All right. Basically, I got long down here on this push lower because this right here was assigned to get long to me. We took out this market structure swing high right there on a 4-hour closing basis. On that 4-hour closing basis, you can see that we took that out on the retest down into here. I found a 5-minute market structure level that I got long to. Once again, that trade is 15.69 to 1, doing good. I'm looking for this thing to actually push higher, moving on into the week. All right. Essentially meaning that the dollar, I believe, has found a bit of resistance. You can see that Friday we traded up and we caught. Let me go back to the 4-hour. Or where was it? I guess it was a 1-hour. I don't know. My charts are being a little bit strange. All right, there you go. So you can see this 1-hour candle right here. If I scroll back over, caught price perfectly, and you had a big sell-off from that area. So that tells you right then and there that there are shorts sitting right above that level looking to take this thing lower. And you smoke the stops above this swing high here. I was actually looking for that wick to be taken out, but it did not do that. It just immediately went down lower, and we're going to see what happens. All right. Currently, the market is open, so we are getting a push higher on the Euro USD, which would indicate bearishness in the dollar. So moving forward, I am looking for these levels to be taken out, especially this high that was put in on Friday or Thursday. Can't exactly remember which day it was, but it was towards the end of the week. So everything's looking good on that position. Like I said, I'm looking for this high up here to be smoked. That high is 1.21560. That should be this week. There is some resistance setting right above the closing price of this bullish candle. You can see that we just went down, but that was obviously another opportunity for people to get long back into that position. What is up, Truth Capital? Obviously another opportunity for people to get long back in. Sorry, let me pause that. There we go. All right, so here we go. We're going to go on to the pound dollar. The pound dollar was strong, or the pound was strong Thursday and Friday. So I'm not in this position. We were talking about this on the last Forex Weekly Outlook because we were consolidating and we could not close below. We couldn't take out any of these structures down here. We closed very, very strongly on that candle there, and we've just been going up ever since. This was a nice consolidation for a couple days. You traded lower, you took out the stops below those, and you have since moved higher. Now there is going to be resistance up here. If I go to a weekly time frame, I will show you why. You can see that we are moving into these candles here. All right, so we already pushed up higher than this market structure and that market structure. So it's just basically fighting with this little bit right here. This is my ultimate target for the week. 1.40129 on the pound dollar. I do expect that to come into play within this week or next week, possibly. I could be wrong. This thing could roll over from here. We don't know. But my very first spot to look for support, if we roll over on a weekly basis, would be this bearish candle's opening price at one spot 36656. That's for you swing traders among us. However, if you're shorter term minded, I have some levels right here. I do not like that level. This should be over here at one spot 37296, which is this 8-hour bearish candle right there. All right, we get a push down into there. You might find some support. We don't know. We have to wait and see. And I'm not exactly sure where that line is coming in from. Let's just go into an hourly real quick and see. It looks like it was this hourly candle right there, but obviously that didn't hold price. Price pushed down lower. So in that instance, like if you get an hourly closure below a specific bearish hourly candle that you're looking at, you simply go down to the next one. And you can see the next one, if I get it right where it's supposed to be, caught price so absolutely perfectly that, I mean, man, come on, guys. This stuff that I'm showing you right here can absolutely turn your life around. All right. Just look at that. Look at that beautiful test. You had a strong move out of there. So obviously, I wasn't the only one looking at that area. You know what I mean? Look at that strong push. Now, like I said, we are going to be fighting with some resistance up here. So just don't get long yet. You need a pullback if you're looking to enter pound USD longs. First place I would look would be one spot 38065. All right. If you don't like that area and you want to get involved shorter or quicker, then you can take a look at what happens to price when it moves into this bearish 15-minute candle at one spot 38235. All right. But I am looking for support to come in and hold. Now, if we do for some reason get a nasty bunch of bearishness and we just slice down through all of those, future support, possible support areas, then obviously you got to look for an area lower. But eventually, as long as everything is still being bullish, I'm expecting the pound to move up. What's up, Darren Marshall? I'm glad you could make it. John Kim, CJ Johnson, you guys, thank you very much for showing up. So that's what I'm looking for on the pound dollar. For the USD JPY, basically, you can see that we pushed up. I made this thing like a couple weeks ago, and we have been kind of respecting it. We did trade right up into it beautifully and rejected. Now, this is still structured to the bearish side. I mean, to the bullish side for the near-term trend, guys. When I'm talking about things structured to the bullish side or the bearish side, I'm basically meaning the near term. Obviously, USD JPY is structured bearishly in the long term. All right. But for the near term, meaning the last few weeks, we've been trading higher. And that offers up intraday or intra-week opportunities. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I look like this. Let's go in back to the 8 hours so I can get you some levels to look for here. All right, so I believe this was caught by a 4-hour market structure level. It was right there. All right, you had a push up, made this bearish 4-hour candle, and that held price for quite a long time right here. And you've moved up higher. But if you look right here, I have another level marking an area where I was looking for a resistance hold or test. And that was just simply this bullish candle. So in downtrends, you look for resistance tests against bullish candles. In uptrends, you look for support tests on bearish candles. All right. Now, moving forward, you can see that you tested that level absolutely flawlessly, almost perfect, almost to the pip, and you've since pulled back. That's a 4-hour chart. That's not a very big pullback either. So we don't know what's going to happen with the dollar this week. We're just going to watch it. I am expecting it to roll over at some point and head lower, but so is every other person that's looking at the dollar. All right. We are absolutely bearish on the dollar because the Fed is absolutely printing more money than we have to print. So obviously we're looking for that to tear the dollar apart. But it's also an opportunity for large hedge firms and stuff like that to push the dollar higher to get a short squeeze. But I am expecting this to roll over eventually. So we'll just have to wait and see. Currently, your range is going to be just to the low that was put in here. You couldn't close a 4-hour candle lower than that area. That area is 104 spot 566. And obviously, this is your top end of the range for now. That level is 105 spot 188. Excuse me. All right, moving on. Silver. Silver, we're getting a bullish push coming out of the open, which is beautiful. I'm going to go into a weekly real quick just so I can show you that big fat white line. If you ever see a big fat white line on my chart, it's a weekly close or opening price of a weekly candle. So that's that. Just, you can see right there that we have closed above that last week. We're not open yet, so this will open up in an hour or two, but we're going to see what happens. You did get a very strong close on the daily candle last Friday. All right. You even closed above this market structure right here. Let me stretch this chart out so you can see what I'm talking about. You pull this line up here, boom, you got a daily close above that. So you are moving back up against this trend line. I usually get rid of trend lines when we have breakouts like that and then closures above. But since this was more or less a bull trap, well, it wasn't a bull trap because you're still trading to the upside. You're still making higher high or higher lows. So it's not a bull trap per se, but that was a very big, strong rejection. You can see you smoked the liquidity that was made upon the high of August the 7th back in 2020. You smoked that liquidity and you came straight back down, but you stayed above this market structure swing high, and now you are pushing higher, or you were pushing higher. Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen until it opens. So when it opens, we'll see what happens. I would like to see it get up into the $28 area. I am still long on this with calls. I have the $30 strike. Those calls are getting closer and closer to expiration. I do believe that they are open for another 3 weeks. Dylan Bennett, Evening Heath, Timothy Sham, thanks for coming on. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Yep, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I think I'm going to start using that hashtag, man. No days off. That's right. We are not taking any days off. Thank you for showing up. Gary S. Heath been C.T.M 9 months. Really digging your perspective. Appreciate that, man. Base Smileys, Heath Level. Heath, what is your best way to attack the weak dollar, Aussie, Euro, NZD? We're going to get into that, Bay. I promise you, we're going to take a look at that. Currently, the Euro was moving up good, but it wasn't moving up as good as the Aussie. But I am going to get into this a little bit later. All right. So next, we're going to take a look at gold. Gold is still showing a lot of weakness compared to silver. All right. Basically, this green line is just a bullish target to break up out of this range. This is a range. And then you fell out of that range. You've since retested that range and you've pushed lower. That's not really good. That means the bulls are unable to reclaim this area. All right. They tried to do it last week. They were unsuccessful. Friday, you got a big bearish, or Thursday, you got a big bearish candle. And then Friday finished with a doji. So maybe this is the week that we take out that 1875 spot 736. Simply, the level is because of this wick high. There's a lot of short seller stops sitting right above that level, meaning higher buyers, willing higher buyers are sitting at above 1875 spot 736. I would like to see that target come into play rather than this one down here. Now, this target is just this bearish wick, so that's going to be a bearish target. That level 1764 668, 1764 spot 668. So we will see. It's still a pretty good piece away, but since it's been trading kind of slightly range bound to down, we could get a nice exploding move up out of this area, and I do believe one of these two targets will be hit this week. All right, the S&P 500. The S&P 500, we had a nice push down. That was a buying opportunity, and it's been going up ever since. This is a daily chart. You can see that we had 3 bearish days last week, but they were dojis and then a breakout on Friday. So there's nothing to do on the S&P 500. If you want to look for a next area of support, I still like this area down here. All right, I still like that as a support test. 38.44 spot 60. I don't know that we'll get that, but we never tested it when we broke out of it. So if it wants to roll over and find higher low support, that would be my first area to look on S&P 500 for longs to head higher. Aussie yen. Aussie yen had a nice move up because we were looking for yen weakness. Absolutely. I'll go show you the JXY real quick. We found support down here at this purple line at 94 spot 50. We were looking for this thing to come up and test 95 spot 50 and possibly this higher channel line that I got going on is starting to form a little channel. So anything above this 95 spot 80 white line, anything above that closing on an 8-hour daily basis, I'm scrapping this trade. As of right now, we came up, we tested that level, and we have pushed lower. I'm looking for 95.50. I don't know why this price is exactly the same as that price. You can clearly see that they're different, but I'm looking for the yen to push up into 95 spot 50 and roll over. All right. Rolling over is what I'm looking for this to happen. If you're watching this video or the replay after the live stream, if you're watching yen pairs, look for strong yen pairs. Anything trading against the dollar, or I mean against the yen, Aussie yen, pound yen, euro yen, all those things, look for them to roll over. Look for a pullback in them first. Don't get long tonight, but wait for this pullback. Let it test this level. Let it start to break over. Then look for your C.T.M entry for a swing trade. As you can see, that Euro USD trade, I took it on a scalping basis. It has turned into a swing trade. All right. So that's what I'm looking for when I take these positions. So Aussie yen's looking good. We got that. We rolled over the DXY, tested that 95 area, and then got weak. And we have since been moving higher. It absolutely broke out. You took out these swings right here, and you're moving higher. All right. So your next area to look for a test of support is going to be 81 spot 146 on the Aussie yen. If you get a push down to here, I would look at that area as an absolute area to look for support. Hold. All right. Don't just get long in front of that level. Let price clearly show you that it's respecting that level as support. And that's about it on the Aussie yen. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else to do. If you get all the way back down to 80 spot 769, I would even consider that still bullish. You know what I mean? If you come all the way down to 80 spot 240, then something else is happening, and we're going to have to reassess this pair. You can see that it's already pushing up. This is the opening candle so far today, and we have already smoked Friday's highs. It's bullish. All right. So wait for a pullback. I did not mean to move that. All right. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is stronger than the euro dollar. All right. And you can clearly see because the push down wasn't as clean and cut as the euro dollar. You see how good this, you had a nice leg lower, a corrective move higher, and then a nice another move lower. So, and you can see that it moved a lot more than the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar kind of consolidated and then made a leg out of there and has since came back, and you're almost testing these highs. So this is bullish. Moving forward, first area to look for support test is going to be 077253. Oh man, I hope I didn't delete something I needed to look at. 0 spot 77253 right here. That's where I want to see an area to be tested first. All right, your hourly market structure level to watch for support test and hold is going to be right here at 0 spot 77322, so which is just a little bit higher. So if you push down into that, look and see if that holds as support. There are a lot of stops under here, so a lower push is possible. All right, and if we get that, it's still fine. I don't really see nothing except for all the way down to here. So if you get below there, you're probably coming all the way down to at least test this swing high. So we'll throw a regular old school support and resistance level on there. Not old school, traditional. Apologies. There we go, right there. 0 spot 76785. Watch what happens if price gets down there. In my opinion, would be a possible opportunity to look for long trades because these highs got a lot of liquidity resting above them. So that's what we're going to look for on that. NZD yen. NZD yen. NZD wasn't as strong. NZD was actually my favorite one to look at, actually, because it was holding up better than the other yen pairs for that rollover. This was that rollover. You can see we got a fake out with this closure right here. This was a 5-minute market structure level that I used to try to get long on last week, and I got stopped out. So you can see you got an 8-hour closure below there, but then you immediately reversed. Now we came all the way back and closed back again and reversed again. So it looks like the yen is struggling. I mean, not the yen, the New Zealand dollar. It looks like it's struggling. So I don't know. I mean, it's still, in my opinion, set up better to go smoke these highs above this last high right here at 76.138. It just looks a little weak. You know what I'm saying? This, unless it's just accumulating. And if that's happening, then this is going to be your first bullish target for this week, 76.138. All right. Now, I don't have any levels down here because of this craziness. So we can go into a smaller time frame and get one. Let's delete this line and start anew. So right here, look what happens if we get to 75.522, 75 spot 522. Looks like we already attempted to get down there and have since been moving higher, but I don't trade this early because look at the spread. It's 8.6 pips wide, which means that's terrible. So we wait until at least 8 p.m. on the Eastern time zone because basically that's when the spreads tighten up and that's when the Asian session is full swing opening. So here's the pound yen. So basically this is my entry on the pound yen last week, delineated by this blue line. This red line is my stop loss. All right, now I left this position on fully. I did not take profits at this high because I entered it with the swing trade mentality that I was looking for this to move higher because I was looking for yen weakness. Currently, the trade has moved higher since I took this level. And if I just move it up there, you can see this is currently at 13.08 to 1 risk to reward. So yeah, that trade's doing good. It's doing really good. All right, there's really nothing to do on here. These two levels I had to go all the way down to a 5-minute chart to get. All right, so the first level is going to be 1 spot 45236. Look what happens when price gets there. And obviously, look what happens if price heads lower to 145 spot 056. Either of those two areas would be a nice spot to look for support, test, and hold. Now, this level is a little bit above, like a little bit too close to the high because this was a breakout last week. So I would much rather it pull back down to here or even possibly to 144 spot 910. And I will look to reinitiate more units. I will look to buy a few more lots on this if it comes down there. All right, so that's what I'm looking for on the pound yen. I don't know if I didn't see any major news this week that would have me thinking that these things are going to roll over. So you got to stick with the trend. The trend is up on most of those things. So look for bullish entries. So the USD CAD, I was only watching it because someone else was looking for it. I did post something on Twitter, and I don't believe this is the chart. So I was looking actually for this to push all the way up to here at 1 spot 27854. I was looking for that to test and then to roll over. But Friday's price action was strange. It opened the morning at the New York Open, opened up like the dollar was going to be strong, and then it just reversed. So I don't know what that was all about. So it's moving lower. I mean, currently you're testing this bearish close right now with this daily candle. It just got started, so that's not a support test, not by any means. So I'm still looking for 127.854 to come into play. If I get that and a rejection there, I will look to take this thing short, aiming at 1 spot 25890. All right, that would be my first target for the week. And then CAD yen. I know Gus took this. Gus with Truth Capital. If you guys ain't familiar with this channel, it's Truth Capital. You go check him out. He has a lot of energy. He's a great guy. I love conversing with him every day in the chat room. He likes to take the other side of my trade sometimes. I don't know what that's about, but it's all good. So moving forward, you can see here, he took this trade last week, CAD yen, but CAD yen was showing weakness compared to like the pound yen and the Aussie yen. Aussie, I mean, it is moving up, but it is broken out. This was one of my trade ideas from 2 weeks ago. I was looking for this breakout. We got it. So as of right now, let's go into a smaller time frame. This was my original position, but I moved my stop up here underneath this bearish candle, and I got smoked. So I'm no longer in that trade long, and I wish I was, but I'm not. So moving forward, let's just delete all these and start fresh. Let's see what happens if we get a test back down to here. All right, that's going to be the first level, 82 spot 455. See if we get a support hold there. All right, there's really nothing else until you get down to this swing low. And this was an obvious area to buy. It's in hindsight, but I mean, I bought down here. So that's what you look for, man. If you're looking to trade these things, you look for support tests. You look to get long on red candles. Go in those smaller time frames. See if you're getting hourly closures moving away from the area. It doesn't always work, guys. But as long as you're using proper risk to reward methods, you're going to be fine. because I'm not going anywhere, not anytime soon. I'm going to teach you how to be fleecing these markets. You guys are going to fleece them the same way I do. All right, so in NZD USD, you can see this is what I'm talking about. This thing is showing signs of weakness. It's not really doing good. It's chopping around, so I'm going to stay away from NZD pairs this week. All right, I'm going to stay away from it. This thing could end up being the best trade of the week. So use your own judgment. All right, just because I'm not going to possibly be looking at it doesn't mean anything. It's just because there's not really any like obvious areas. I mean, right here's one, and that'd be lower. So I guess as long as I will keep it on watch, as long as we're respecting this 0.71 1497 area on an hourly closing basis, that would smoke that liquidity. Be a beautiful spot to look to get long, and that would give you a nice area to put a stop against. Put a stop against, and then target these highs. So that'd be an actual great trade if it works out. Let me just plop it on here for you. You're obviously not going to get long right on the level. So let's do it like that, like this, and just see what it would possibly be. Yeah. Let's get a lower. It'd be 5.9 to 1 trade. That's a possible trade idea right there. All right. Doesn't mean it'll work. Just keep an eye out for it. That's going to be my first area to look for. I actually won't even be interested unless we get down there. If we get down there, I'm going to set an alert right now. Boom. Thank you very much. There it is. So if price gets down here, it'll let me know, and I will be watching this area come tomorrow morning. And that's all I got, guys, on the FX pairs. I looked at everything else. I did not see anything else that I liked. So we can go over a couple of the bigger ones. Aussie CAD, just basically trading sideways because of the CAD. It's, it's not really offering up any mad rewards. There's a target right there, but this thing has a very small, I guess you could call it, delta, where the pips size is small. So like all the way up to there is just 42 pips. So, and it's trading at highs. I would want to see it pull back, but like I said, I'm not interested in it. Not interested in the Swiss franc because I got my eyes on the yen. Yeah, that's it. I mean, let me look at Euro Aussie. I know people's looking at this. All right, so basically you got you've been trading down because the Aussie's been strong, and this also puts into perspective. This is another way you can test for strength. If you want to know how strong the currency pair you were looking to trade is, well, pull that pair up against another pair like the Euro Aussie. So just this pair right here, you can obviously see that the Aussie has been way stronger than the Euro. All right. So if you're looking for dollar trades this week, I would like the Aussie better than the Euro because the Aussie's showing more strength than the Euro, and so is the pound. It's showing more strength than the Euro. Currently, you're testing a traditional support area right now. Let me get this line up here. What the heck? Oh, I'm pushing shift. I'm like a rookie. It's alt. It's alt. Alt. Alt, please. All right. So, yeah, you got a nice area right there, but you are weak. I'm sure if I pulled up this, you're going to be showing bullish divergence, and you kind of are. Not really. No, you're not. Sorry. Well, yeah, you are, because this is lower than that. So you are showing bullish divergence. I don't really look at divergence anymore. It doesn't play out as much. If you get an 8-hour closure below 1.56071, then this thing's going lower, man. Lower. And let me go find an area to target. Wow. Huge bullish push out of that area. So there's really nothing. You could use that swing high if you wanted to. Yeah, let's just put a line about right here. Just to keep an eye on it. That's going to be the first area to look to see if price gets that low. I don't like it. I don't like it for a long, and I don't like it for a short. I think the juice is all squeezed out of this lemon. All right. I wouldn't be surprised to see a bounce from here, and I wouldn't be surprised to see it move lower. It's one of those things. It's hard to trade these things unless you're only looking for scalps intraday. To get a swing trade off of this essentially means you got to pick a bottom. You have like not really a head and shoulders pattern, but it's similar. So basically you could look to get short if you push up. If you smoke these stops, that would be a great spot to look right there. All right, look for a resistance test at 1.57304. As long as you're unable to close above this, then that would make the risk to reward a little better to look to for a downside opportunity. EuroCAD, there's nothing. I didn't like it either. That was pretty much it, guys. So let me know in the chat if you want me to look at something. I will take a look at it for you. What's up, Stefano? Yo, what's up, Jordan, Metcalf? Spreading all my love for the C.T.M community. Thank you, Mara. Glad you could make it. Thanks, brother, says Truth Capital. You are more than welcome, my man. Still long. Let's see. Yeah, that CAD yen trade. I think it's gonna break out, man. It was weak last week. Let's see if it could get some strength this week. Love a good fleecing, says Ron. Yeah, me too, bro. Me too. And those two trades I'm long in currently, that's a nice little fleece. Nice one. How many Forex pairs should we watch? Says Smile. So if you look at this right here, this is basically all the pairs and a few that aren't offered by Oanda to trade. All right. Obviously the S&P 500, the futures for NASDAQ, stuff like that isn't IWM, but there's only a few of those. The rest of them are Forex pairs. I basically go through the week on Sunday and I look at them all and I comprise a smaller watch list. And this smaller watch list is going to be the one that I will be focused mostly on. But being in the swing, in the C.T.M room, people are constantly throwing trade ideas into the chat. So maybe something breaks out and I'm not taking a look at it. So, I mean, basically you can look at like 10 pairs is a good number to keep on the watch. You have to remember something. I only take entries during the New York Open. I very rarely ever place limit buys or limit sells during the London Open because I'm asleep. I have before and I will still if I see something I like, but most of the time I'm just waiting to the New York Open because as you can see, I'm doing just fine trading like that. And that's why I keep 10 or so pairs, get the best ones that I see out of the group and just kind of watch them through the week because I'm also watching the stock market and everything else as well. So hopefully that helps. Let me get rid of that banner. I forgot all about it. Apologies. All right. Stefano, hi, Smile. Pretty good. Thanks, bro. Hope you're good day. Fantastic start to the week, bro. Thanks. You're welcome, Ron. No problem. Dylan Bennett, pound Swiss and euro pound, please. Got you, my man. Got you. I was just looking at it, pound Swiss a second ago. But I will go ahead and get you some levels. All right. So this thing looks beautiful as far as the way it's trading. Just slap a trend line on it, something like that. So it is starting to get a little space away from that trend line. Currently you're having trouble with this area, but I'm sure if the pound's going to remain strong, you're going to be breaking out of that. So it doesn't really give you a long opportunity as far as I'm concerned because the liquidity's already been smoked. So I'm going to give you an area to target. All right, so this bullish candle right here is possibly what's got that little what's kind of holding price back. That first one's that's 1 spot 23741, and then look for this one up here. So you could basically look for that area to come into play. So essentially you would want to be long going into the area. Let me get back over here. Let's see what that looks like. So basically you'd want to see a pullback on this. All right, you can see that area is all the way up there. And yeah, look at that. That's like holding price. That level that I took from over there was the last bullish candle in that downtrend. That's what caught price. But you can see the sellers, they lost it down here. The bulls re-entered with more aggressiveness. That was that pound strength I was talking about. First area, or the major area that I don't want to see it broke, is 1.22985. So you want to see something like that. You want to see a trade down into this area, excuse me, and then look for failure and look to get long. And that would be a beautiful trade from here to here. That would be a monster for the week if that's how it plays out. Obviously, if you're closing 8-hour candles below that line, you're going to be testing these swing low down here, and then ultimately this is going to be the next target lower. So we use wicks for targets, but we use candle bodies as the structure. All right, so as long as you test that area and you close above it, you're still golden for a bullish trades. I'm gonna go into a smaller time frame. This is an hourly and there's nothing. The next one is right here, and that would freak everybody out too. All the near-term guys, they'd be like, oh man, the world's over. So it's right here's your first hourly structure. I've already tested this one, and you're since trading higher, so there might not be a retest. I'm assuming there will be, but there might not be. It's definitely fighting with all of this nonsense right here. All right, and the other one was euro pound. And that's another thing too. I always look at euro pound just to gauge pound and euro strength together. All right. That basically helps me dictate if I'm looking for long dollar trades or short dollar trades. I will look at like the pound and the euro together to see which one is the obvious aggressor, and then I will look to get my bullish entry from that pair. So you can clearly see that the pound's been smoking the euro. Last week, you essentially traded sideways all week. All right. That is going to be looked at as a bear flag, as some. And this is a daily structure, and you closed right at it Friday. Right at it. That's usually not so good. So what do I see playing out here possibly? Well, possibly I see a stab down here to smoke the liquidity for anybody that got long on that. Your next area for the downside target is going to be right here. All right. And that's a pretty good far piece away from current price. 8.86710. That's the downside bearish target. The upside bullish target is obviously going to be these swing highs way up here. Let me go into an hourly real quick. See what we got going on. Yeah, this thing's been trading wacky. So many people got hurt on this thing last week because of this back and forth sideways, not able to trend. So that's obviously your first target to the bullish side at 10.8792972. Apologies, 0.87972. This wick high, you did not tackle it. So if you're going to move higher, this thing's obviously looking like it's wanting to move lower. I don't even know why this line is here. Did I just put that on a daily? No, I don't know what that is. Let's get rid of that. All right, let's go back into this. Nothing. Let's go into a smaller time frame. Here you go. All right, so you can see beautifully how it tested that bullish 15-minute candle right there. Boop. Later. Now, it wasn't a strong move down, but next one is up here. 0.87738. You get a retest and a fail of that area. Look for this thing to roll over and target these lows right here. Well, no, that candle already got those lows. So yeah, you would have to be targeting that long area way down there. That's a long ways away. All right. So I'm sure there's better stuff to get. Let's go over here and let's spread this out. All right. So this is going to be the first area, obviously, because it's a swing low and then this next swing low. So you could put your closer target right there. That's the near term. That would be a nice area to look if you test this area up here, roll over, and make a daily range expansion down to that level. That level is 0.878181. All right. Hopefully that helps. It's like when something's been moving down this much, like for so long, I almost don't like looking for shorts on it, even if you do get these pullback and tests. I mean, that is the direction of the trend, but it's so oversold. I'm sure the indicator is not saying that it is, so it's not. It's not. That's oversold. So you got a small bounce. There might be a little bit of juice left on that squeeze, man. Just watch those areas. Those are your first areas to watch. If you smoke this liquidity, you could still possibly look for this area to come into play as a resistance test as well, and that's 0.88122. So I like these areas. These three areas would be a good area to watch for price to roll over. If it keeps moving on up like the Jeffersons, then leave it alone, because it's probably going to take out these highs. A lot of these things that are stretched out like that, they're probably going to be pulling back soon. All right. Do you trade for? Yes, I trade full time. Jordan Metcalf. Been at it 4 years and still not there. Not much. Still not there. Much to learn. Yeah. If you just watch these areas that I'm showing you on these videos, like I'm gonna start doing more strategy videos for like how I view moving averages and what I look at with the Stokes and all that stuff. I'm gonna start putting out some of those. Basically, make like basically put together a whole strategy for anybody that wants to learn the style of trading that I do. It is very successful. It's very successful. I only took 3 trades last week, and that's, usually I'm looking for 2, and I took 3. One of them was a loss, so I lost 1% on that trade. And as you can see, I'm up like 15 R's on the pound yen and like 13 R's on the euro, or vice versa. So yeah, you can catch really nice trades trading this way. And this is also why I always leave 2/3 of my position on, because now the Euro USD, I did take profit off the Euro USD. I did not on the pound yen. So the Euro USD is already basically making more money than the original trade I took off, if that makes sense. So yeah, you can absolutely do it, my man. Can do it. That gap, you're the pressure of greatness. Let me start the music back over. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure Darren Marshall, I'm sure you looked that I did pound Swiss. If not, just retype it back in the chat and I will look at it again for you. Could we see a pullback in ADA as it reaches its all-time high? You want that in dollars or the Bitcoin? You know what? I'll do both of them for you, because I've been watching crypto all day. All right. Yeah, definitely. I like the pullback. I would like to see a deeper pullback, to be honest with you. Because if you look at these daily candles, you can see how they kind of were rolling instead of just straight up, like up and then up. It started to slow down when it got into this area at 71.3505. And then you wicked up into it 2 times and were rejected the 3rd time, rejecting, and then boom. So I would love to see price get there on ADA USD. That purple line right there. If I get that and then it shows me on like a 4-hour chart that it's unable to close below there, I will look to enter that as a bullish trade. All right. Because I got these lows down here. I could put a stop down below and obviously be targeting all-time highs. As of right now, it does look like the bears are in control. I mean, it's not aggressive or terrible selling. It's like, it looks more like a bull flag than anything. So you may not get that test all the way down to there. Let me see where I got that white line. I got it on this bearish hourly candle. So that's obviously going to be an area to watch first if price gets down to there. And then if you break below that, this one is my next one that I like a lot. I love it a lot. 88 BTC. I'm going to use XBT because that's what I'm trading it with, if that's all right with you. All right, so this looks pretty good too. Man, I can't believe that's nasty. That move down is nasty, but look at this. I mean, it's a monthly chart though. You got 14 days left on the monthly. Let's see if we did get that close above. We did. Let me get rid of these lines. So, oh no, we did. We got it last week. And this week we got 1 hour left. You can see how you did not close. Sorry, it looked like it did. So we got 1 hour left on this weekly candle. A close above 1740 is good. It's definitely not bad. That means you will have put in a new market structure swing high. And this is similar to what Bitcoin did before it took off. Remember that area was essentially the Heath line that Jordan talks about. I was a little bit more not really feeling Bitcoin heading to $50,000 when we were still below 13,000 because of that all-time, or not that all-time high, but that long-standing high that was in on the coin. I was like, I want to see that thing broken. It's gotta break it. If it don't break it, I don't like it. And that's this level right here, 13,937, spot 63. I wanted to see that taken out so bad. And once we did on a weekly closing basis, I got bullish. I was back into bullish on Bitcoin. I was skeptical because up until that time, Bitcoin was just, to go from 17,000 down to 3, that's a big down move. Now look where we are. So yeah, Jordan knows his stuff, man. I wasn't as bullish on this as Jordan was. Even when we were down here, like, I can remember this day or this week during the March sell-off. That was brutal, man. My account was down 40% on that sell-off. Oh, I woke up and I was like, oh, 40% down. Oh, but because I was still holding a little bit, I got really long once we got above that and was closing dailies above it. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I could see that pullback. I'd love to see that pullback, man. Love to see it. Jonathan, oh, where did it go? See, this is what I hate about this thing. I'll be literally reading a comment and it'll disappear. Thank you so much. Can you mark up NET stonk? The stonks in the house. Yeah, I'll check it out for you, my man. Let me see. I was writing them stonk. Did y'all see that? Oh man, I was writing in stonk. Let's go check out stonk. Ticker symbol stonk. It's been very bullish. Cloudfire, love it. It's been very bullish. This is okay. Actually, yeah, you're essentially tested that level right there. Boom, and you closed above it. So if you're looking for an intra-week opportunity, like say maybe looking for this to hold as support, looking to target this high, then that'd be a good area to watch tomorrow morning on an hourly basis. You can see that you were already testing it a few times. So see what happens there. If you roll over and close an hourly below it, then just go find a lower hourly candle and mark your little line, like say 80 spot 34, and then watch what happens when price gets there. The reason I'm using that one is because it's below this swing low. All right, this swing low, this bull flag that was made. So if we move lower, come down there, you want to smoke those stops. Look for price to turn around right there, 80 spot 34. It's bullish though. It's absolutely bullish. You may not even get a chance. This gap right here may be filled by tomorrow. And if that's the case, don't just jump into this thing. Look for good areas to buy. This would be a good area to buy as long as it's not closing hourlies below it. And that gives your risk to reward much better. If you instead you see a big bullish candle and you start chasing it, you buy here, then you're like, your risk to reward is skewed. You got a 1-to-1 at best. All right. Hope that helps. Let's go look at Tesla real quick because someone was talking about it in the chat room because this was the level that I was watching and he remembered that. So he's basically asking me, what do I think now? Because, we got that push down into that area and a failure to close below and you have traded higher. So I would have much rather seen this market structure high taken out, all right, before I start looking long again for intraday swing trade or intraday scalp trades. Yeah, since it hasn't cleared this market structure swing high, I say sit down and wait, see what happens. Now, you get a breakout and you close clear, get a couple closures above that swing high, then you can look for your retest to get long. Look for this area first at 803 spot 54. So basically, I'm going to be a fortune teller right now, so stick with me. We're going to push up. We're going to close the hourly candle above that. We're going to test it, close back down, then roll back over. Barring there isn't any new market structures in that swing up, look for this to come into play. Be a great opportunity to look to get long. You can risk against this low. And your upside is, as you can see, nice. It's trading in a range. If I go back out to a daily, you can see that it's trading in a range for a few weeks now. This is your range low at 793 spot 53 right here, and this is your range high at 891 spot 29. Really and truly, this, I try to stay away from stuff like this because in my opinion the trade is when you break out, but that's a pretty big range. I mean, you're looking at almost $100 range, so there is opportunity in there. There is opportunity in there. All right. Metcalf, you are in the presence of greatness, brother. I appreciate that smile. I don't know if I'd go that far, bro. But thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Can't wait for the strategy vids. Yeah, I'm gonna put them out, man. It's hard for me to do the videos during normal trading hours because I have no days off. You know what I'm saying? I'm always looking at the charts, looking for my next opportunities. So I usually do them around 6-ish in the evening. I'll start working on them. And once I got enough of them put together, I'll start throwing them out on YouTube. How did you come to figure out your system and going from non-profitable to profitable? That's a great question, Darren Marshall. The answer is failure, my man. A lot of failure. My girlfriend used to get so mad at me because I'd spend every waking hour staring at the charts, trying to figure out a way to make this stuff work for me. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it was a lot of failing over and over and over again. And many times, like, dude, it took me a long time before I started to turn it around. A long time, years and years. Several times I wanted to give it up and just call it a day. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy, because 90% of trading is with yourself, guys. It's not the charts. The charts are there. And as long as you take the same kind of entry, like a monkey throwing a dart can literally pick stonks and be a profitable trader because it's that random. You know what I'm saying? It's random. So as long as you have a good risk to reward strategy and you have the same entry, the way you enter the same way every time, make sure you're only risking like 0.5 to 1% of your total account's equity over a long period of time, dude, you're going to get it. Basically, if you're fighting with yourself, it's yourself. That's what makes it so hard for people to get it, because you're essentially, you know what you're not supposed to do. Like, you know, you're not supposed to FOMO and buy all-time highs, but you do it. I did it. You know what I mean? That's what's keeping you as a failing trader. I don't do any one-on-ones or anything like that, but if I ever did, that would be the first thing I would want to look at, is their P&L. Like, what were you thinking when you took this trade? Why did you take this trade? Basically, just look at your P&L, look at your trades. I take a I take a picture of every single trade I take, whether it's a winner or a loser. That way I can go back in that evening and see what happened. What did the chart look like when I took the trade? What did the chart look like after I took the trade? And I have like thousands and thousands of pictures saved up from all the trades that I've taken over the years. So yeah, it's a brutal thing to go through, but you need to beat yourself. Essentially, you need to just look at yourself and say, I'm going to get this. I'm going to stop doing stupid stuff. I'm going to start trading like a machine. Essentially, I'm going to take the same entry the same way every single time. And then I'm going to keep a diary or a journal, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to write down stuff like, how was I feeling when I took the trade? What did it look like when I took the trade? Blah, 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 blah. Attach a photo to it. It'll help you in the long run. It will help. You just got to master that FOMO stuff, buying stocks because they're jumping to the moon. It's never going to work. Shorting, trying to pick a high, shorting this. That's not a profitable strategy. It absolutely looks good if you finally nail one. You may lose this trade 37 times before you actually nail that one beautiful one. Though that way, when you start bragging about it, look, I nailed the top. Professional traders like myself know that you probably lost that trade 37 times already. So yeah, it's not that impressive. Look to buy off support and uptrends, look to sell off resistance and downtrends, and be a little bit more systematic in your trading, and you'll do fine. You'll get it, man. You'll get it. You'll get it. Plus, you're starting to watch my channel. That'll help. That'll help because I look at the same stuff over and over again. The guys in the chat room, they can tell you I take the same trades day in, day out, week in, week out. Nothing changes, nothing at all. I do the same thing because it works. Commentator Slim, great analysis. Thank you, my man. Sim, not Slim. Apologies. Jordan Mercat, thanks, brother. I'm delayed. Oh, where did it go? Damn it. I'm delayed a bit on the live stream. Can you take a look at Aussie, New Zealand? Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, absolutely. Stefano, let's do it. Aussie, New Zealand. Aussie, New Zealand. Oh, I was like, what? AUD, NZD, please. Thank you. All right, so obviously that's a lot of nonsense. This thing has been trending so great, man. Oh, how good it would have been to buy that down there or sell that up there. I mean, just look at this. It's been just, you had this big, nice, any sell and any pop in price for a few days was a good area to sell. And then this pop out of there. And then, yeah, it's trending very good. Look, multiple daily candles in the same direction. That's what you want to see. Now, the ranges of those candles aren't very big. Let's go and find some areas to look for support. Well, let me see here. Do we want to even look for support? Yeah, you're trading in a big ass range. But I do see a trend. I mean, it's not a beautiful trend line, but let's get it on there. So as long as you're trading above that trend line, look for bullish entries, I guess, be the way I would look at it, how I would play it. The reason you're having this Aussie strength was because NZD was weak last week. So remember that. NZD was strong through this period. So this thing does get choppy sometimes, but yeah, it's been trading really good. I haven't taken any trades on this in like at least a month. Looks like you're fighting. This is your first area, obviously, to look as resistance. So if this area holds as resistance, you can see it's already been tested multiple times. Last Friday, tested, and you are since moving higher. So if you break out and you make a couple 8-hour higher closes, look for this area to come back in as a support test right there. 107.530. That's if you break out. I mean, if you break out, there's nothing to do. That goes back into what I was just had a long-winded answer about how you got to fight yourself. There's nothing to do if this breaks out. You have missed the trade. The trade was down here, or the trade was right there. Actually, the trade was down here, not right there. This was the trade. So that's what you're looking for, stuff like that. And obviously, you don't know that it's going to work. Nobody has a crystal ball, but that's what you're looking for. So if this wants to pull back, my first area to look would be that bearish candle. See if you get a support test and hold of 107.193. If this area holds a support, damn right, load up long, look for this to move higher. The near term, I mean, it's still up. I mean, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. Is it up or is it down? I mean, the long term is down. I see something right here too. All right. So you can see on a monthly, that's going to have some kind of, let's see if we can make that prettier. Let's try this high and that high. Boom. All right. Now, the reason I do that, this is going to be a little bit of strategy for you. The reason I just changed it was because this wick was above it, right? And then it was down upon this market structure. So now, if you get a monthly close above this line, there is no subjection there. That is a breakout. All right. But we're a long ways from that happening. So you're trading in this wedge pattern. You're forming a wedge pattern. So basically, it can go anywhere. You had this nice push down into that area and traded away. So this is the thing. Is this a down leg, a retest for a move lower? Or Is this a move higher? Look lower to get long for higher low support. I like it long still, basically, because you couldn't take out any of these market structures down here when the bears were in full control. You are starting to push up. So let's see what happens. I mean, that's the first area. This is the second area on 8-hour time frame. And you can see right now you're starting to get a little bit of selling pressure. Let's see if we can find something on a smaller time frame. Oh, millions. All right, so yeah. I mean, I'm not going to strike a line across all those. We'll use one in the middle, like Malcolm in the middle right here. This one. That smokes these stops. So if you get a test all the way down to there, look and see if that area holds a support. 1.06886. This is your first area to watch for support. Then this area, vice and on and on and on. Now, if you break this area, then it no longer looks good for a bullish entry. You know what I'm saying? Then it will look like a higher low. I mean, a lower high. Apologies. And this major move down. But you got, this is what I'm talking about right here. You got an impulse leg to the downside. You got a corrective leg and an impulse leg. In my experience, bulls will get back long in assets after they get two nice legs down. If the bulls are in control, you'll see something like this, which is why for now you got to look long until you get down here. You get down here, this is not going any higher, then you can look for short entries. Trucker for my day job, so mostly buy and hold Bitcoin. There's nothing wrong with that, my man. There's nothing wrong with that. It's hard for people to break out of their jobs because you don't get paid anything when you work for them, and you still got all your bills to pay. So the amount of money that you actually have to play with to try to break out is limited. And a lot of people struggle with that, and it just becomes a mental barrier almost. And they're always trying to take the biggest trades possible to catch a 1000% move so they can quit their job. If you look at it as reality, that is not going to happen. Not going to happen. You're going to have to do a slow grind, and every step up you take, you're going to take a step back. But as long as you're getting at least one step further in the right direction, eventually it'll happen. This is a lifelong goal. This is lifelong. So it's not something you're going to get in a year. Even with me telling you what I'm looking for, you're still not going to get it because you don't see what I'm looking at exactly. You're not looking through my eyes, but it'll help. It'll help. Some people have been miraculously just take off and get it, but the bulk of people, it takes some time. As long as you look at it at the long, like it's a longer stretch journey, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. And Bitcoin's going to the moon. So hopefully that thing just keeps rocking. And I appreciate your content when I had the time to watch. You got, hey, watch when you can, man. Watch when you can. I do this for the people that like it. I don't do it for the people that don't. You know what I'm saying? I'm still struggling with trying to get good internet into my place where I live here. It's a constant fight, and then the uploads will look a lot better. When I do a live stream, for some reason YouTube automatically processes it in the standard definition, so I don't know what that's about, and I'm not able to fix it. So they look better when I do a recorded video, but I do it for the people that wants to see it. That's what I do it for. If it's only 2 people, I'm good with that. 2 people, I'll do it for you. People that held through March, remember the pain. Us newbies look at March and we wish we knew what Bitcoin was. Yeah, it's that was a great buying opportunity in hindsight. March, obviously. Cannot wait for the strategy and penny stock videos. Yeah, I'm gonna do them, man. Just it's like I said, it's gonna take some time. What do you think of Brandon's ADA trade? I'm in the process of sending some funds over to Kraken. I'm not exactly sure where he got entered. I didn't catch his last video, and I wasn't very active in chat today, so I'm not exactly sure which trade you're talking about there, Jordan. Apologies. I'm thinking holding could turn into a decent profit. Yeah, it could. It absolutely could, man. If you're in profit now, just hang on. I got stopped out of the trade that I took yesterday. Let me go into it real quick. Yeah, last night because I moved my stop loss up. It wasn't ADA, it was Link. So I got long right here yesterday and we pushed up. And then Bitcoin started to have this move up and I pushed my stop loss up to where, because I couldn't figure out how to take off 2/3 of the position still. And I was looking at it all night trying to figure it out and I never figured it out. So I just had a trailing stop to take me out of the position at 9%. It was a 9% trade. So it worked out good. Worked out good. But as you can see now, it looks like it has found support again. So I don't know. I might leave it alone. It looks like the Bulls are in control. I didn't get to enter here again today. So obviously I need a pullback before I can get long again. Yep, 90% of trading is with yourself. Absolutely, Stefano. Absolutely. Bearish divergence in Bitcoin coming. Yep, I'm sure. I'm sure there is, man. When you trade up in round highs like this and you don't have really big ranges, the RSI will show bearish divergence. All right, it will. Absolutely. So I don't take trades based on bearish divergence. The bulls are firmly in control of this market. And you can see that it's creating a wedge pattern here. Get a breakout above 50K. It's probably going to run up to 55, 56. So I would only start to look to short Bitcoin if we get like back below 20K. And that would only be for intraday scalps. I'm not feeling short in Bitcoin right now. It's so strong and there's so many different things happening in Bitcoin that wasn't happening back in 2017. 2017 was different than what's going on now. I mean, you got multi-billionaires putting $1 billion worth of positions in Bitcoin. I don't know if we're going to get another 84% correction. I would love to see it after we get to wherever people are looking for it to get to. But yeah, this thing is so bullish. Everybody that tried to get short here got smoked. Yeah. And it's been bearish divergence for a while. I'll pull it back up for you real quick so you can see. The RSI is a momentum oscillator, and this is what people use as a signal, but you can see this high right here, which correlates with that. That was bearish divergence, this high. All right. You clearly got a higher high on price and a lower high on the oscillator. So everybody got short there looking for the bearish divergence to play out. And if they're only scalping, that might have been a nice trade. But if they're looking for this to be the end, they're already done. And that's been the trend with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been smoking shorts. Just smoking shorts. Yeah, it's bullish, man. Look for bullish entries. It's only going to help you in the long run. Let me go back and find that. There's divergence. Okay, on a weekly candle. Yeah, I've seen it. It's definitely there. There's no doubt about it. There's definitely bearish divergence. But I'm still not looking for short Bitcoin plays. What would your entry point on the market? Let me get it up here. What would be your entry point on the market structure for Aussie New Zealand? I.e., could you show where you would have pulled the trigger? It's hard to do that, man, because any skeptics or whatnot, people that watch this video and aren't familiar with me, they're going to call me a hindsight trader. But I've got more than enough proof that I know what I'm doing. I can show you on a trade I took. How does that? That way, you know what I'm saying? That way it's not hindsight because I'm long. And I can go back and show you exactly why even. All right. So here's the trade currently. I got long on this push down because we smoked these highs and we got an 8-hour closure above it. You see that? You see how those candles are closed right there? And then you tested it again. And then on this push down, I figured this was probably going to be a fake out and I got long. And I have my stop just, it's a small stop. This thing's 15.69 to 1. All right, that's a nice trade. So if I go into a 5-minute chart, I'll show you what happened. Let me scrunch it up. Just bear with me, and then I'll wrap it up. All right. So basically, I know the chart's going crazy. Just bear with me. All right. So the blue line is my entry. This 5-minute candle was the one I was watching. Why? Well, because this one got beat. All right. I'll put a line up there just to show you what I'm talking about. So I was looking at that to hold that support first. But if I get back over here, you can see right here, it got beat. That's a closure below. Now, I did trade back out of that area, but on a retest, it just wasn't feeling right. So I waited. You know what I'm saying? I waited. We got this test. This is when I got long right here. So if I scrunch it out, let me put a line. Let me get rid of this line. And let me put a line at the bottom of the candle. So essentially, I'm watching, well, the low actually. I'm the wick low, because if price gets below that, I'm no longer interested in the trade because it's looking for a lower price. So when price pushed down into this, the top is the top of that 5-minute candle. You can see we got a close below and then a strong push out. That's what I'm looking for. This bullish candle was strong. And then you had several 5-minute candle bullish candles in a row. So on the retest, I got long and I have my stop right below this low. All right. And you can see that thing, that was like almost instant gratification. And that doesn't happen all the time, guys. It doesn't happen all the time. I took profits. This was the daily high. All right. I was looking for that daily high to be taken out. So on that push up into that area, I took off 2/3 of the position and moved my stop up to break even. And since we've traded down, we're all the way up there, all the way up there. So that's why I do it like that. You can see that it looks like it is starting to roll over. So this thing could roll over. I don't know. I am looking for this to hold. I am looking for it to hold. I am looking to see if we can get another long in here to get back up to full size. You know what I mean? It was a great trade, but that's what I'm looking for. I'm basically looking at my 8-hour market structure levels that I look at on the chart. When I get confirmations by closes, then I'll go into an hourly time frame and I'll look at the hourly market structures. How does it look to me? Does it look like it's looking like it's wanting to move higher or what? That was a strong push up out of that area. So just to get long there was a no-brainer to me. That was like one of the easiest trades I think I've ever taken. And the pound yen was not as easy, all right, because this is an hourly chart. And I actually thought this thing was going to roll over and come and stop me out. Now my stop is still here. I still haven't moved my stop up because I didn't take profits on this one. We pushed up, we took out the daily high. I just left the whole position on because I was looking for yen to roll over. So if yen rolls over, then pound yen's going to get strong. And that's what I was looking for. And this is a 13.08 to 1 risk to reward now. Now, I didn't know that was going to happen when I took the trade, obviously. I had no clue if that was going to work or not. But I knew that was an area that I wanted to watch. And I had this hourly candle right here. Let me get rid of this. This was my first area to watch for support test. All right. Go into that. And then you can go into a 5-minute chart and you can watch how price plays around this area. You can see it clearly held as support. And then you started getting higher lows until it left that area completely. Like I said, this was all consolidation, but it was starting to get a little nerve-wracking because I was still in it with 100% of my position and I was complaining to myself. And I've done this a million times, but I still do it. Why didn't you take your profits? Blah, blah, blah. You know, you're just wrestling with your own mentality. But now it's working out. So it's just something you have to, it's a you versus yourself type of game. But you're in the best spot to learn how to do this. But all of you guys are. All right. Jordan Smile about 6,500, 700 miles a day. Damn, that's some driving there. I second that. Look at me. Absolutely love these videos. Lots to learn from them. Appreciate that. And that. All right, guys. I'm going to call it a night. All right. This got a little longer than I wanted it to. Thank you guys for showing up. And for those of you in the C.T.M room, I will absolutely catch you in the morning. Well, I'll be in there the rest of the night as well, but all right. And I'll put out another video for another trade recap whenever it happens for this week. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Happy trading. Trade safe, trade smart, happy trading.